October 4, 2021, time check is 7:04 p.m. Ako inyong host, Marvin Rey XD. Vlog din ako ni para sa school time. Click the Zoom link. Balag dugay. CR pa ko. Join with us without video.
I request Mr. Koan, Sir Edu, to lead the opening prayer. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Let us pray. Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we praise and glorify your name this day. We thank you for all the blessings, especially the gift of life which are heard upon us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn in this time of pandemic. Bless our classmates, teachers, and school. Let me bring hope to our community. May we continue to bless us with your grace and love. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the Father, Son, and
Amen.
Holy Spirit.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Edu. Attendance checking everyone before sa magtugod sa session tonight for a while. Kumusta inyong weekend, guys? I am hoping and nag-expect ko na kanang okay inyong weekend. Tanan ba okay nakarelax sa ilang weekend?
Ilang, sir. Lentura sa vaccine.
Hala, vaccine. Normal lang po iyan. Kung di kalintura mo after sa vaccinations, guys, so okay lang na siya. Normal lang na siya ninyo na makuhaan.
Wag ani, first dose, ugma.
Oo, sa mga wala pa naka-vaccine, I really encourage na mag-vaccine. Pa-schedule na mo. O sa mga nahumanang vaccine, guys, congratulations by the way.
Adlo ko vaccine, sir.
Sir, naka-plus points ang fully vaccinated.
Dili na ko mag-plus kaya basig ma-issue ta, ha? Kaya basig makuha ta ma-report sa direct check.
5%.
Maganda mo ni sir og BTS meal katulad vaccine na.
Andang na lang to.
10%.
Hindi ko mabaksinan, sir.
Oo. Kita hindi ay mabaksinan si Mr. Bulauta ba to? Si Mr. Bulauta. Olarte. Nga nung di ka mag-vaccine, Mr. Olarte?
Cancer. Last year magud kay nakuan ko ba kanang away lang gud pagka batanon. Dugaban ko ba buslo akong baga.
Ay, oo.
Halal man silang mawala.
Diba sino yung mga kuan, no? Sa mga pambiya na. Well, anyway, attendance checking everyone. Sige, before ta mag-sugod sa session. Attendance checking, guys. Today is October 4. This, actually, nagsugod na ang kuan, ang pre-finals. So, again, hindi pa na mag-pre-finals kasi we need to finish first the assigned presentation or assign sa mga groups before ta mag-proceed sa pre-final. And as you can observe, wala pa po tayo nag-midterm exam. Nag-midterm exam naman no, sa inyong mga previous ninyo sa other subjects ninyo.
Wala pa po, sir.
Wala pa po. Sige po. Sige. At least dili pa tayo na behind. Okay. Again, attendance checking. Today is October 4, 2021. Agilon. Noted. Bakiran.
Sir.
Nasi
Present,
Bakiran.
sir.
Noted, Miss Bakiran. Beliones.
Present, sir.
Noted. Bulao. Parang nandito si Mr. Bulao sa Zoom. Wala si Bulao?
Connection sa signal, sir.
Okay. Signal? Di ba na table may lang interconnection? Danganon.
Present, sir.
Nagchacha din rin.
Noted. Duran. Formentera. Parang nandito
Present,
din si
sir.
Formentera, no?
Present, sir.
Naabot si Mr. Duran, Maverick.
Nasa, sir. Nag-chat.
Okay. Sige, thank you. Sana ulit mo save. Wala lang si Galindo. Lazan. Noted. Moises.
Present, sir.
Olarte. Si Olarte, di ba?
Present, sir.
Noted. Pitin, wala na po ni. Polio.
Present, sir.
Polio.
Present.
Noted. Rebaha.
Present, sir.
Noted. Angelo. Truth. Si Truth. Ano ba si Truth? Asa naman si Truth? Edu. Si Edu, no?
Sir.
Maspinias.
Present, sir.
Noted. Mr. Maspinias. Sumaya.
Present,
Sumaya. Noted. Marces.
Present, sir.
Noted. Rojales. Kanina is ang dami, guys. Kuan kaya natingala ko kasi second year irregular dahil siya. So, diri siya asa to ang section. Asa to ang sa first year kasi second year irregular iyang status. Si Powner ang wala nagtudo diyan. Okay, kinsay wala na mention during the attendance checking, guys? Lana, I suppose everyone's being mentioned. Dali lang. Okay po, Mr. Bulao, noted. Yes, na-check naman nila. Again I am kuan kanang kuan ko sa kuang sa ni promise na if you get the perfect score sa attendance, I will be giving additional points sa inyong total kuan niyo. Sa total niyo na grade. But anyway, for tonight, kinsa kaya mag-present ron, naka-schedule?
Kami ni Joseph Maspinya, sir.
Yun. Si Mr. Lazan and si Mr. Maspinias. And then, ang mag-critic or mag-question will be Mr. Formentera. Miss Formentera rather. Sorry, Miss Formentera. And si Miss Aguilon. Tama ba? Mag-question? Sa dua ka
Yes,
girls
sir.
na mag-critic.
Yes,
Sige
po.
po. You may now start your presentation, Mr. Lazan and Mr. Maspinias. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Uninstall ko bit sa mga kaan niya. Sure na no? Naku kay cash niya. Messenger.
Ang audio ni mo, Mr. Lazan.
Okay.
Pizza, sir, ha?
Sige po, take your time. Paayos na lang po ng audio.
Sir. Wala man ko kay chat sir kay guba.
Ay, sige po.
Kita na ba sir?
Ito, wag ka na wala-wala diha.
Ayun, na-share na. I-landscape na lang. Laking sa naman pag di. Charot lang.
Sana all. Sana
Sana
all.
all. Sana all February. Ay, di ba? Sige po.
Kita na sir?
Oo.
Madawa ko sir.
Yes po. Good luck. Thank you.
So, good evening everyone. So, this is our report. The Communication and Information Technology. Information Literacy, I mean, So, communication technology. Communication technology, including traditional and digital means like mobile phones or the web, require experts for their proper functioning amidst the world that depends on remaining connected for business and social purposes. When people say the world is getting smaller, they mean technology allows us to communicate instantly with almost everywhere. Communication technology is neither good nor bad, but the use of its product and system can have a good and bad consequences. Political, social, and cultural, economic, and environmental issues are influenced by the communication technology. So, so communication nowadays is effectively perhaps the most important of all life skills. It is what us enables to pass information to other people, or technical or in natural way, and to determine what is said to us. The act of transferring information from one place to another. So ang communication daw kay required na sa expert, which is kita, yung expert man ta kay kung aning kabalo man taon-taon pag-communicate sa mga tao, whether mobile phone ba or web or gamit lang ato ang ba sa pag-communicate. So, naay upat ka form sa communication, which is ang number one kay biological communication. It includes all forms of communication that choose natural methods. So nagingon nga natural methods, muna siya but pasabot nga wala sila nagamit og gadgets or any technology nga para maka-communicate sila. Ang sampulan ni kay voice, ears, arms, hands to transmit and receive messages. People use their voice to transmit their message. In the ears, it's the receiver. Other people with disability use their hands, arms to use sign language in order to communicate. Animals use their senses and animal instincts to communicate. Some and facial expressions and hand gestures. So, ikaduha kay muna siya ang graphic communication. Include all forms of communication that sends and receive messages visually through the use of drawn or printed. So, kanay daw, passing communication, muna siya nagamit og visual daw. Murag tawag na, natuwa pa, murag report ka, murag visual aid. Printing is common example. Magazines, newspapers, messages on clothing, billboards, road signs, and computer images are all forms of graphic communication. So kanay daw mga murag information nga atong makita visually o dunay matawag nga graphic communication. Kaya sana ang nasa kadalan, makita tag mga road signs, no U-turn, no parking area, or mga billboards na may mga ads na gipagbutan diha. O dunay pasabot nila mga graphic communications. So, number 3 kay muna siya ito nga wave communication. It refers to all forms of communication that move through air, water, outer space, or some other medium waves. They use the newest and oldest technologies and inventions. Ang A kay sound waves. which is a pattern of disturbance caused by the movement of energy traveling through a medium, such as air, water, or any other liquid or solid matter, as it propagates away from the source of the sound. The source is some object that causes a vibration, such as ringing, telephone, or person's vocal cord. So, ang kada sound wave, kung unsa daw nga itong mga, unsa daw na siya ka vibration nga energy nga atong madungog is ringing telephone or ako ang tingog or kani akong tingog ninyo karon nga nadungog mo din siya katawag nga sound wave. Yan kaning electromagnetic wave kay unmodulated single frequency electromagnetic wave that carries the desired information. So mo din siya ang mura din siya carrier waves nga kanang mag-carry daw og information, which is single frequency ra daw siya. So, for example, ani, kanang mag-text ka or magpasa ka information from one place to another, muna siya example sa electromagnetic waves which carries information. Ang light waves kay an electromagnetic waves which travels through vacuum or outer space produced by vibrating electric charges. Example niya kay radio waves, microwaves, visible light, ultraviolet, and X-rays and gamma rays. So, muna sa example sa mga light waves kanang mag-X-ray ka, gamit na siya light waves para daw microwaves nga gamiton na to pagluto, muna siya ay gamit ko na niya light waves. Kaya light waves, murag na siya ka heat energy. And ikapat, kaya mo na siya ang telecommunication. Telecommunication over a distance is telecommunication. Today, most telecommunication system use electronic or optic electronic devices. Have you ever used a telecommunication machine or device? You have if you have used phone, television, or radio. So, naka-use na tao telecommunication device kung nakagamit na taan ng mga phone, television, or radio. Ito ginagamit karon
First
na
ka na niya, force.
kaning phone, television, or radio. Satellite can help produce maps, provide climate information, track weather patterns, and even what people are building in other parts of the world. So, ang satellites, kana siya ito types ang satellites, which is natural and man-made. Ang natural, mao na siya ang Earth and Moon. So, ang man-made, mao na siya ang a machine that launches into a space and orbit around a body of space. Muna na siya ang mga murag machine nga hinimo sa tao daw na makita nato sa mga salida o sa mga documentary sa TV. Kada murag na ay maglupad-lupad sa atong babaw nga kuan na murag machine. And, ang satellite daw can monitor Earth, kan mag-monitor daw ang satellite sa magtanaw daw og changes. For example, measure sea level rise, water temperature, predict weather patterns. It's also used in entertainment, which is radio and television satellite. Beam our favorite song or movie and television shows to Earth for us to enjoy. So, gamit ko na siya ang satellite sa entertainment. Na makita na to sa mga salida, sa GMA, sa IDPDN, wala na. Or nasa nga form kuan daw. So, muna to po tanan sir. Next nga ang sunod nga na po the type of communication which is sir.
Sige po. Continue your presentation. Thank you.
Sige sir. Wala ra ba na mag-iisa ang kuan sir ang PowerPoint sir mo. Sige na po ang mag-screen sir.
Sige po. Naka-end na lang para mag-present po si Mr. Joseph.
Sige sir, thank you sir.
Oo. Nine ng chat sa kuan. We're waiting for Mr. Joseph. Okay, si Miss Bakiran wala Na-accept na ko ganyan na si Miss
Okay,
Bakiran.
that's
And then nawala iyahang kuan. Nawala siya sa
Set up pa na ako.
Hala, Joseph, wala ka nag-set.
Kadungog ra sa daw tayong sir.
Opo, yes po.
Good to hear.
So, okay na kami, Sir Joseph.
Dali siya tingog.
Oo, relax lang, Joseph, ha? Oo, kasi nawag tag-medic,
Dali
Joseph.
lang gani, hindi pa dali-dali na ako ni sir.
Uy, relax na lang, Joseph. Ako, relax lang, Joseph, ha? Kasi taron ani na buwang na meron. Tala, dito rin ni Mr. Kuan. Mr. Lazan.
Ano malagod isa?
Okay na kami, Sir Joseph.
Yan mo nagalitas sir. Sabot na naman sir mga mag-saan.
Okay lang po. Pero napulbaan dyan ni si Joseph. Joseph, relax lang, ha?
Paano yan?
Congrats day sa mga bagong laptop diha.
Oo, dapat ipatol ng pakanan. Ay, pag-blessing.
Siya, dapat mo.
Yung sa din ay bagong laptop.
Share screen ako, sir.
Iyaw lang. Ay, charot lang. Oo, kapag share screen na Joseph. You may now start, Mr. Joseph. Thank you.
Kulba na this.
So, good evening, guys. This is the continuation of the communication in literacy about of modes of communication. So, modes of communication, people to people. So, guys, ang people to people kay ano din na siya kanang murag mo ang pinaka-original nga mo ang pinaka-originally na communication kanang for example magstoryahan na sila katawa kung dili pa uso ang gadget sa una, so people to people ang gamit ng communication by through verbal or using hand gestures or body gesture. Then ang people to machines muna siyang ginatawag nga ang tao nag-communicate sa machine. For example, ang tao kay nag-communicate siya. For example, let's just say ako, for example, ako nagamit ko computer. So muna yung ginatawag na people to machines. Then ang machines to people, ang machine nag-communicate sa tao. For example, nag-init mo takurig, yung takurig kay ni kuan na kaning ni taghoy nang abot pasabot nga ang tubig nagbukal na. So mo to siya ginatawag nga machines to people. Then ang machines to machines, mao ni siya tong kanang bali kanang machines to machines lang siya. For example, laptop o cellphone tapos nag-connect ka sa wifi ay mo na ginatawag nga machines to machines. So people to people is one mode, but it was not always the way it is today. At one time, people have to communicate with each other within the limits of their own physical makeup or biological communication. So nakita niyo sa picture, guys, ang tao nagstoryahanay sila. Nagstoryahanay sila through people to people communication by using their hand or verbal communication. So mo na ang people to people. People to machines. Dili makita ko. So people to machines, the machines they built could only carry the message
and this message could only be understood by other people. Today, however, people are communicating with the machines that they have created. Pwedeng slide ang picture. Wait.
Okay ka, Joseph. Relax lang ha. Okay.
Sir, nag-malfunction ang laptop, sir. Dili mo kuha ng picture.
Sige, hira mo na to ang laptop ni Mars kasi bago siya laptop. Ay, sorry lang. Oo, relax lang, Joseph, ka ng ikuan lang, ay i-click ka Gustav. Laptop pa din mong gamit.
Yes, sir.
Enter na, press enter in the keyboard. In your keyboard rather.
Pwede good siya, sir.
Sige,
Mag-stop share sa ako, sir. Kadali lang. I-check na kung
sige
may
po.
problema. Ayun.
Yun, okay na. Kaya naman pala, kaya na yung mga model.
So mo na yung gingon ganina guys, tong people to machine. So nakita niyo sa picture, ang lalaki is nag-ano siya sa nag-advance siya sa computer by clicking his mouse and keyboard. So muna ang example sa people to machines communication. So kanitong machines to people. Kung i-explain ako ganina, mo ni siya. So, as you can see sa picture, ang tao, nagkuhan siya siyang cellphone. So, ginapakita dira sa picture na ginanotify niya ang tao nga ni nag-text sa iya or na ay nagtawag. Machines to machines, it is the transfer of messages from one machine such as computer to another machine. So mo ni yung sa inyo ganina guys, mo ni siya atong wireless na machine to machine. Di ba nakita niyo sa picture tulo ka gadget ang nag-connect sa wireless machine? Tablet, cellphone ug laptop. So mo na siya ginatawag nga machines to machines communication. In the internet basics is probably the most exciting, the most visible and definitely coolest information system development of the decade. So sa picture guys, nakita nyo ng mga dots?
Yes.
Nakita nyo ng mga kanang white dots? So muna siya ang nag-present sa internet. Imagine guys, dili lang nakita nagagamit og internet kundi ang buong whole world kagamit og internet, dili lang kita or dili lang kita diri sa tuang lugar kundi the whole world. Electronic mail or email, this consists of the sending of messages composed on the computer by a network directly to the computer of the recipient who reads the messages on his or computer. The following are just some advantage of email. Reliability. It is efficient in a way that email is instant, which enhances communication. So ang kuan niya guys, ang reliability is kanang murag naga-enhance siya kay kuan man siya reliability man. Digital emailing is always available to all digital devices. So ang pag-email guys, dili lang kay siya sa laptop or any kind of computer or any kind of PC. Pwede po ninyo siya makuha any devices like cellphone or tablet. Basta as long as na kay device na magamit nga pwede ka mag-send og email. So cheap. It is cheap in a way that you don't need cost to send an email. So imagine nyo guys, ang kinaraan nga cellphone na magpadala og email kay mato pa og post, mato pa ka sa post office para mapadala lang nimo ang email or kinsa imong padalhan. Kailangan pa nimo mo gasto. So imagine guys, nga naka disaster ang magpadala og email sa una. Pero karon nanay pinaka simplest way nga magpadala og email. Magpadala kag email, pwede ra ka sa imong laptop or sa imong mouse, basta na lang kay device nga magamit. The speedy way of sending an email to anyone anywhere in the world in a matter of clicking mouse and keyboard. So mo ni siya guys, kanang ang kapaspason kung mag-send mo og email, basta as long as nga na kay magamit, for example kay mag-click lang ka sa imong keyboard or sa imong mouse. So guys, kita mo anang nasa picture.
Yes.
Kita mo nang so muna siya ang sample sa email or Gmail account. Muna siya ang sample sa
Gawas!
So mo ni ang mga email service providers guys,
wala ka
Gmail,
bantay!
Outlook ug Yahoo. The world wide www, commonly known as the web,
Ambot!
is an information system where documents and other
Bro,
web
kabantay kay
resources
nagtanaw
are
ko diri sa
identified by
online.
URL
Tanaw
or
ko diri.
uniform resource locator. A typical has the form of http://example.com/index.html, which indicates the protocol type. HTTP, the domain name www.example.com. So guys, mo ni ang example sa uniform resource locator kanang nasa picture ninyo nakita. Una siya ang example. A web browser, commonly known as a browser, is a software application for retrieving, presenting, and traversing information resources on the World Wide Web. So mo ni ang kuan guys, ang mga major browsers, Google, Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge. So mo ni siya ang mga major nga browsers nga pwede niyo makita for example sa laptop, computer, or sa PC. So mo ni siya. So that's the end of my presentation.
Mana? Charot lang.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Okay, mag-entertain muna tayo ng questions. Let's start with Miss Formentera.
Okay, ang question ako sir kay about sa forms of communication.
Sige po. I think kay Mr. Lazan. Am I right, Mr. Formentera? Miss Formentera? Sige po. On sa imong question.
Which form of communication refers to all forms of communication that moves through air, water, outer space, or some other medium waves? Ato sir.
Mr. Lazan.
So kana siya nga forms of communication, ana siya nabilong sa wave communication. As I said earlier, ang wave ilong sa nana siya sa number 3, which is ang wave communication. Kaya ang wave communication refers siya all forms through communication that moves through air, water, outer space, or some other medium waves. Ang isa kay sound waves, electromagnetic waves, and light waves.
Okay, thank you.
Nice question. Thank you, Miss Formentera. Let's proceed with Miss Aguilon.
So, yung question is, how does email impact the way people communicate?
Pardon? Ano daw yun?
How does email impact the way people communicate?
Yun. Any na lang sa members sa inyo ha. Any of the presenters na lang going to answer the question. You want to answer the question, Mr. Mastinia?
Sir? Unsa
You want
tong
to-
kuan? Unsa tong
Sige,
question
paulit na lang
sir?
po sa question, Miss Koan Aguilar.
Medyo choppy man good.
How does email impact the way people communicate?
Ma, wala gyapon
So,
sa
how
baka
does
nang
the
wala
people-
gyapon
So how does the people
wifi.
communicate?
Ano na lang siguro
How
kana
So,
does email
pag
No.
taod lang daw PLDT.
So ang
Janet.
tao
Dali,
bali
Joseph. Yung
Sir?
question, dali, para hindi lang
Dili pa job
na-gets ng
order?
ayos yung question. Ano nga yung tanong?
Dili ka pa job order ana ma? Ngano man?
How does email impact
Ha?
the way people communicate?
Ayun. How does
Ikaw
email,
lang.
I think sa'yo ito, Joseph, based on your presentation kanina about email. Am I right, Miss Aguilon?
That's all.
Oo. Ayun. I-type na dyan ni Mr. Matrix. So, ang question is, how does email, yung email po, electronic mail, impacts the way people communicate?
So kuan kanang
Actually,
Ang
na-mention mo
email.
yun kanina.
ang email is reliability siya kay efficient siya in a way nga ang email is instant with enhances communication. So as long as nga naka device or internet connection, pwede ka makapadala og email anytime at the moment or hantod kailan nimo gusto magpadala og email sa katao.
Thank you, Joseph. Well, anyways, it actually changed katong sa traditional na to. Just an addition ha for the sa answer ni Mr. Masinas. Actually, electronic mail rather, changes the traditional way of sending message or sending sending mail from one place to another kasi yung first kanina is what you call, ano nga yun, Joseph? Yung sa presentation mo, email, reliable siya, kumbaga maaasahan in a way that
Reliability, sir.
reliability, in short, sa Tagalog pa, maaasahan. Kasi, ang sa kwan kasi, katong sa traditional na to, katong sa gamit ang post office, kasi nakaagi na ato, or hangtod karon na, exist na gihapon si post office. Kinsay nagagamit gihapon og post office na email. Dili sa email, mail.
Kung makadawat og sumon sa barangay, sir.
Yun. Mga most of the time kanang government siguro and then mga summon and so on. So yung na siya, mail ang ginagagian nila. So ang kanang mga bangko like
Bilyones.
well, anyways, aside from that, kanang for example, nangutang sa bangko. So, mail ang ganito nila is tukuan. And kaya nga, ginagamit po nila ang email. Di ba? Ang sa mail, guys, specific yung address ninyo. Yung email address ang kukunin nila sa inyo. So, electronic siya ang pag-send sa inyo ha sa message. Yun. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Aguilon. Follow-up questions from the others? From the classmates na lang tayo. Who wants to ask? Or Joseph, may tanong ka for your classmates to check if they are still listening. Joseph, na kay pangutan na sa imong mga classmates that will serve as an oral visitation. Joseph,
Sir?
nakay question. Nakay pangutan na sa imong classmates regarding your presentation.
Pero unsa lang, sir?
Related lang sa imong topic ha, kasi mga bakta rin sa imong topic lang. Para oral recitation siya sa imong kasi.
So, guys, na kuan ba ninyo ako ang topic or sa atong gi-topic na ko ganina na ka-relate mo?
Yes.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes.
Well, anyway, thank you for the presenters, guys. Well, anyways, I commend the presentation. So, yun nga, the connection, since again, this is a by pair, need siya ng connections between the two or the group or the pair. Now, yun nga, nag-comment ganina, I think si Miss Marcel na why separate. One of the audience or the one of your classmates, ma-observe siya na pag there will be no connections between the two or the group, pag hindi po naisa or hindi po na kuan, yun din, nakulbaan daw ang sensor na tonight. Well, anyways, okay lang po iyaan. So, if you feel kanang unsa ni medyo dili mo kanang stable sa inyong feeling like for example kasi nga it's normal lang na siya when it comes to kanang ingunani. So, especially daghan ta, di ba? We are 17 na nasa Zoom. So, okay lang siya na siya. And I think that's one fear that you need to face having this online classes. Okay? Okay lang siya na siya nga makuha ninyo. At least nalagpasan. What's a very important thing is nalagpasan ninyo inyong fear na mag-present, especially those yung kanang maulaw gani. So, at least nalampasan ninyo na siya. And at the same time, ang pinaka-importante is you learn something from your experience. Aside from that, yun ang presentation na to, so need siya improvement, especially we are an IT. So, yung mga, I think the content and then yung image na ginamit. Oo, sana all bago laptop. Charot lang, Miss Marcel. So anyways, a round of applause please for the presenter. Mr. Villones, kaya ako kasi Mr. Interact. Ang kuhan dyan ang interactivity. Thank you.
Sir.
Lagi, salig kayo ng 100 Mbps. Ang maayong tag-5 ng Zoom taman. Sige. Next presenters tayo from Girl Power na po guys. So, we will be entertained by the group or the pair of Miss Formentera and Miss Aguilon. And ang mag-critics will be a group of Mr. Cruz, Sumaya, and Danganon. Miss Formentera, you may now take the floor. Thank you. Good luck.
Good evening, everyone. So today, we will be reporting about basic networking. So, basic networking. What is basic networking? Basic networking, a network connects computers, mobile phones, peripherals, and even IoT devices. Switches, routers, and wireless access points are the essential working basics. Through them, devices connected to your network can communicate with one another and with other networks like the internet. So, example of this is the local area network, metropolitan wide area network, or WAN, to be reported later by Ms. Aguilon. Okay, let's proceed with the 5 advantages of basic networking. The first one is facilitating communication. So, facilitating communication, not to be confused with augmentative communication, is intended to assist a nonverbal person's use of a communication device, such as a computer keyboard, by supporting the individual's hand as he or she selects letters to spell out words. So, example of this is for the autistic people. So, in 1994, the facilitating communication is the issue. According to the American Speech Languages and Hearing Association and American Academy of Pediatrics issued statements. Their concern is ang facilitating communication daw is makadala siya og harm kay some cases of rape is reported na na-rape daw ang other patients by their caregivers. Pero after much investigation, the cases were dismissed. So despite the negative findings and controversy, interest in facilitating communication continued in 2005. And and it is nominated Autism is a World. Keep public interest strong. So the next one is the sharing hardware. Sharing hardware in a network environment. Each computer on a network may access and use hardware resources on the network, such as printing a document on a shared network printer, share files, data, and information. So the example of sharing hardware is we can share hardware of computers via networking. Example is kanang sa if connected ka sa same LAN network like sa mga comlabs sa schools, then pwede ta maka-use sa isa lang ka printer to print anything we want. So, in sharing data and information, sharing is the practice of making data used for scholarly research available to other investigators. Many funding agencies, institutions, and publication venues have policies regarding data sharing because transparency and openness are considered by many to be part of the scientific method. So, example of sharing data and information is information sharing describes the exchange of data between various organizations, people, and technologies. Example is if one individual shared videos sa Facebook or sa YouTube. So, sa sharing software sharing is the practice of sharing or offering access to digital information or resources including documents, multimedia such as audio or video, graphics, computer program, image, and ebooks. It is a private or public distribution of data or resources in a network with different levels of sharing privileges. Example of this is kaning Zoom. Di ta maka-access sa Zoom pag dili hatag ni sir ang link. Then isa pod sa example sa atong mga lessons na gina-share pod ni sir sa atoa ang PDF para maka-access ta sa lessons. And the last one is the transferring of funds. A fund transfer is a sequence of events that result in a movement of funds from remitter to beneficiary. It is also defined as the remittance of funds from one party to itself or to another party through the banking system. So example ini is the ATM machine nang mag-deposit ta og funds or mag-withdraw ta og funds. And now is the classification of computer networks. So, computer networks are classified based on various factors. They include the geographical span, interconnectivity, administration, and architecture. So, in geographical span, geographically, a network can be seen in one of the following categories. It may be spanned across your table among Bluetooth-enabled devices ranging not more than few meters. It may be spanned across the whole building, including immediate devices to connect all floors. It may be spanned across the whole city. It may be spanned across multiple spaces. It may be one covering the whole world. So, in interconnectivity, components of a network can be connected to each other differently in some fashion. By connectedness, we mean either logically, physically, or both ways. Every single device can be connected to every other device on network, making the network mesh. All devices can be connected to a single medium but geographically disconnected, creating a bus-like structure. Each device is connected to its left and right peers only, creating a linear structure. All devices connected together with a single device, creating star-like structure. All devices connected arbitrarily using all previous ways to connect each other, resulting in a hybrid structure. So the next one is administration. From an administrator's point of view, a network can be a private network which belongs to a single autonomous system and cannot be accessed outside its physical or logical domain. A network can be public, which is accessed by all. And the last one is the network architecture. Computer networks can be discriminated into various types such as client-server, peer-to-peer, or hybrid depending upon its architecture. They can be one or more systems acting as server, other being client requests the server to serve requests. Server takes the processes requests on behalf of client. Two systems can be connected point to point or in back-to-back fashion. They both reside at the same level and hold peers. There can be hybrid network which involves network architecture of both the above types. So example of client server is client server network has a powerful computer known as a server. This provides all the services required on the network. This can include directing traffic around the network, managing disks, drives, and network peripherals such as printers and scanners. So example of peer-to-peer is this type of network is where two or more computers are connected together without needing a file server to be part of the network. A peer-to-peer network can be as simple as two people in the same room temporarily connecting their computers via a universal serial bus or USB to enable them transfer or share files directly with one another. Server base consists of a central computer that serves information and resources to other computers. So the advantages is highly efficient, strong central security, central file storage and organization. And such advantages, expensive server hardware and networking operating systems software, a dedicated network administrator is required. So, sa network topology is a computer network topology is the way various components of a network like nodes, links, peripherals, and so on are arranged. Network topology is define the layout, virtual shape, or structure of network not only physically but also logically, the way in which different systems and nodes are connected and communicate with each other and determine the topology of the network. And last, an example of network topology is the star topology. Star networks are one of the most common network topologies. Consists of one central switch, hub, or computer, which acts as a conduit of transferred messages. Reduces the chance of network failure by connecting all of the systems to a central node. And the other one is the bus network is a local area network or LAN topology in node a workstation or other device is
I want to
connected to
eat
a main cable or
something.
link called a bus. All connected stations on the bus can communicate with all others on a singular network segment. A bus network topology is simple and reliable. So, also, an intranet is a private computer network that uses internet protocols and network connectivity to to securely share part of an organization's information or operation with its members. Sometimes the term refers only to the most visible service, the internal website. So the extranet, an
Kwakol!
extranet is a private network that enterprises use to provide
Daka tulog sa
access
kwarto,
to
Kol.
third parties such as supplier,
Gani,
vendors,
wala man,
partners,
wala man siya.
customers, and other businesses. Secure, controlled access and business information or operation. So, maalam to sa ako ang partner.
Sige po. What about the other? Ikaw lang mag-present.
Dili sir, lahimi yung kana sir.
Sige po.
Lahimi og
Sige po. You may now continue, Miss Aguilar. Thank you.
Klaro ba?
Yes po.
So, speaking guys, ang ilan na ilan natin sa bilog. I will continue.
Bye-bye sa ta, guys.